Hello, welcome to today's lesson. So today we're going to look at what macroeconomics is. But first of all, I would like to talk about economics, all right? So economics basically studies the best way of allocating scarce resources, all right? And economics has got two branches, macro and microeconomics. From the word micro, meaning small, microeconomics studies individual units in the economy, such as firms and households or individuals. And then macroeconomics studies the sum total of all those individual units in the economy. So what is macroeconomics? Macroeconomics studies the aggregative economy or the economy as a whole. All right. It looks at issues such as inflation and unemployment. It also looks at issues such as economic growth. Okay. So here are the following major issues and concerns under macroeconomics. Number one, unemployment. So unemployment is very important, and throughout the macroeconomics introductory course, you're going to look at unemployment and what causes unemployment, the types of unemployment. This simply just represents the number of people actively seeking for jobs but can't find them. That means you are not considered unemployed if you are not actively seeking for a job right now. Just think of that. The next thing we're going to look at is the determination of national income. I look at this as the heart of macroeconomics, because without some form of income as a country or an individual, it's quite hard to survive. So the determination of national income is very important, is a very important issue in macroeconomics, okay? And national income is simply just the final value of goods and services produced in an economy in a given period of time. So do not forget to add the aspect of time whenever you look at definitions in economics, because when you leave them out, they somehow seem absurd or maybe useless. So the other thing that's very important, which is the third thing, is inflation. I'm pretty sure you've heard of people talk about, oh, inflation, this and that, maybe a friend, or maybe a lecturer, or maybe just on the news. So inflation is simply the sustained increase in the general price level, okay, of goods and services. So the key word there is sustained. So if there's no sustained increase in the prices of goods and services, then that's not called inflation. So let's say the price of sugar increases from 20 to 21 kwacha today, and then tomorrow gets back to 20. That's not inflation, if it keeps fluctuating like that. For there to be inflation, there's need for prices to be increasing, okay, all the time. Now, let's take, for instance, that we have deflation. Is it good for a country? So deflation is simply the opposite of inflation, which is a decrease in prices of goods and services. So deflation is not really good for a country if it gets down to some level, all right? Inflation too. But every country, whether developed or developing countries, whether rich or poor, experiences inflation. Another issue that we can talk about is economic growth. Economic growth is one of the major issues in macroeconomics. And this is the reason why we study macroeconomics, to understand why some countries are experiencing low growth and why some countries are experiencing higher rates of economic growth. So economic growth simply refers to an increase in the production of goods and services in a given period of time. Remember, do not leave out the aspect of time. So if there is an increase in the production of goods and services in a given period of time, then that country will experience economic growth. The last thing I would like to talk about are business cycles. So business cycles are fluctuations of output and income, okay? So when we talk about business cycles, we have what is called a boom, a recession, and a depression. During boom periods, what happens in economies is that there's going to be high rates of output, all right? And then there's going to be, some sort of low rates of unemployment, okay? And then during a recession, there's going to be high rates of unemployment, okay? And then there's going to be low rates of output. So if you've kind of pictured what I'm saying, you can see that during a boom period, the graph, if you're illustrating a graph, it can be an increasing graph, and then during a recession, it can be going down. Now, a depression is simply just a severe recession. So if recession becomes very much severe, then we call that a depression. So this is all we had for today's lesson. And thank you for watching our video on what macroeconomics is. Thank you for being a committed member of Global Youth Inspiration. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel, and hit the bell icon so that every time we produce a video, you're going to see it. So thank you very much, and see you next time. Yeah.